Hey guys, welcome to today's video. In this video I'll be showing you guys how to prepare some homemade meat pies. These meat pies are very sweet and you won't be needing the high brands to get the same results. So just stick along and let me show you how to get started. To make the dough, we will be needing 1 kilogram of flour, 300 grams of butter, 1 cup of milk, 1 cup of water, 2 tablespoons of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of salt. To make the filling, we will be needing 5 tablespoons of oil, 2 onions, 1 egg, 750 grams of beef mince, 1 can of corned beef, 4 medium-sized potatoes, and a handful of carrots. The first step is to cut your carrots and potatoes. We're gonna cut this in small pieces because we don't want them to be too big in the filling, otherwise we'll just be eating carrots and potatoes, which isn't really delicious. Just wash your potatoes and then peel off the shell, and then we can cut them in 4 corner squares. You know what we do, we be ghosting, yeah we be toasting, go the blessings, up on the blessings, very soon we got The next step is to cook our potatoes. We'll need to heat up our pan on medium heat and then pour in some water on our potatoes and just cook this until they become a little bit soft. Next, you're gonna drain out your potatoes and rinse them in cold water. We're doing this so that our potato doesn't become really soft when baking. The next step is to make our dough. We're going to be mixing up the powders that we own first. So first of all, pour your flour into your pan or your mixing bowl. And then to that, you can add in your baking soda or baking powder. And to that, we'll add in our salt and just mixing these 3 things up together. We're using a wooden spoon because the mixer will just make the flour go everywhere, and obviously when we're going to start making the dough, everything is just going to get stuck in the mixer, and that's kind of disgusting. So it's better just to use a wooden spoon and later on use your hands. Now we can add in the butter. This butter should be at room temperature so it's easy to mix in, but don't use it liquid because it's later going to start making clumps into your dough and we don't want that. We can add in our milk. Just try not to spill it over. And add in your water. And just give that a good mix up. As you can see, it's gonna start getting a bit harder to mix up. We are later gonna just start using our hands. Oh, beware. Wash your hands before you do this. If you have long nails, I would suggest you wearing gloves doing this because it could be possible that the dough is gonna come into your nails and that's not really hygienic. So use gloves to do that. When your dough is next to ready, you're just gonna let it sit in your pan or your mixing bowl for it to rise, and we're gonna go to the next step, which is finishing up the filling. Control. heat the pan, we're not gonna add the 5 tablespoons of oil. And when that's hot, we're gonna add our chopped up onions. When your onions are next to getting brownish, we're gonna add in our MINCE. And mix that well with the onions so that it's evenly distributed all over the pan. Now we can add in our corned beef. As you see, our MINCE is starting to get kind of brownish, and that's the point you're gonna add in your corned beef and mix all those 3 things up together.
Freestyle.
When your corned beef, onions, and MINCE have been mixed up together, we are gonna add in our carrots. And again, mix this up together. Make sure it's evenly distributed, like there's enough carrots on each side of the pan. This way, the fillings are gonna have a bit of the same proportion of everything. Now add your onions in. Make sure your onions have cooled down before you add them in. So give them a bit time to cool down, about, 10 minutes. Just while you're making your dough. We didn't add this to the ingredients because it's not necessary, but if you want to, you could add some chicken bouillon to your mixture just to give it a bit more sweetness. And this is how it should look like when it's ready. To finish up the meat pies, we are going to add some flour to our workplace and just spread this flour evenly over where you're going to make the meat pies. Take a portion of your dough and just mash this up a little bit more so it just becomes a little bit softer. When you've done that, you're going to roll it out with a roller pin. You're gonna create a not too thin and not too thin thick layer. When you've rolled it out, just take a small plate, depending on how big you want your meat pies, and just cut out circles, which are gonna form the meat pies. Make sure you dip your knife good in the flour, this so that it doesn't stick to the dough and you're not gonna make kind of ugly circles. Now with an ice cream spoon, I'm just scooping out some filling and putting this on the meat pies. This way you're gonna get an even amount of filling for each meat pie. But if you see that the filling is a bit too small for that certain meat pie, you can add more or just add less.
Gotta have scrams on a block car, you know what a hood might do. All my 150 niggas trap car, we don't wanna look like you. Chap in the bando, I don't wanna look like you. Chap in the bando, I don't wanna look like you. Chap in the bando.
Now you're gonna fold the meat pie on itself and you're kind of making the pie.
I don't wanna look like you.
So just use your fingers to press down the sides and we're gonna secure it more with our fork. Use a fork to press down the sides of the meat pie. This way you're locking in the two parts of the meat pie and it won't open. And then you're gonna chuck in some holes on the top of the meat pie so that it will have some air when baking. Now place the meat pie on your tray you're gonna use in the oven. Don't put them too close to each other because when they're gonna rise you don't want them to stick to each other. You're not gonna give your meat pie a coat of egg. We just make the egg white and the egg yolk together, that doesn't really matter. But this is gonna give the golden look to the meat pie. And it also helps with the taste of the dough. To bake your meat pie, you're gonna set your oven to 200 degrees Celsius or 392 Fahrenheit. And you're gonna leave the meat pies in for about 15 minutes or at least to start getting the dark golden crust. And now your meat pies are ready. If you did everything right, they should look like this. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. This is our first video, so if you have any opinions or anything, please just tell us how we could do it better, and I hope you enjoyed. Chap chap in the bando, I don't wanna you. Chap chap in the bando,